And welcome back. We are now at the standoff at the end of the Dobrev story arc. There are still more flashpoints to go after this, however, this particular continuing one is kaput after this mission, so. So there we. Once again, they have landed it on a planet somehow, but okay. And as they said and showed, it is underwater at the bottom of a large body of water. Remember that coming up in a bit. And Yang was right. The parting gift from the bounty hunter was a trap, which everybody kind of assumed. Sorry, not much saying here, not really much getting going, but in brief summary of what they just said, they have found where the Dobrev is now grounded somehow. This time it's too damaged to ever lift off again, even though it never would have been able to lift off in the first place. And you've got to get in and take out the mercenaries, I guess we would call them at this point. The, what is his name? The bad guy group. Anyway, we got to take them out to give us clear access to where this thing is sitting. Remember, as they said and showed, at the bottom of a deep body of water. I cannot emphasize enough to remember that they made a point to say that and show it. Command interface initiated. So here we are on this map again. Same deal as in the earlier one, which may or may not have been aired on this. This has come up several times, and I know there was one supporting House Carida where I was on this same map, where basically the same setup minus the Mama Bear's drones here. But that one might have been one of the ones that disappeared on me, so I might not have actually recorded and shown that one. You might not know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this map pops up a lot. So now I'm just trying to figure out what way I want to go and what I want to do here. And also the game's being a little squirrely on me.
Affirmative.
Aye, aye. Heading out.
So as you see on this one, we've got Mama Bear's last combat drones and support. I will say they're not a massive asset, but at least they're not a liability. I mean, a quartet of LRM carriers would have been a hell of a lot more useful than these supposedly Starleague era drones, but whatever. Grasshopper. Oh, look at that! They've got a bull shark too. They must have found the pieces of it and put it together in the wreckage. That's the only way. That is one thing I will say that annoys me with this game. You see it constantly now with the Hatchet Man. You'll start seeing it now with the Bull Shark, and going forward from another Flashpoint, which I deliberately haven't done yet for this reason. When you do a Flashpoint that gives you access to or unlocks, whatever you want to call it, a particular mech, like we now have access to the Bull Shark because we've passed that point of this campaign. We have access to the Hatchet Man because we did that Flashpoint. It also makes them accessible and adds them to the random mech tables for the units you're facing. So here we are out on the periphery facing a mercenary unit just like us that, like us, is using a assault mech that no one has ever heard of before, like it's nothing on a battlefield. Yeah. Because reasons. I mean, I'm glad to have some variety in these matches, but when you're constantly facing mechs and vehicles to a lesser extent, that there is absolutely no way, shape, or form you should be facing out here on the periphery.
Yes, Commander.
Pre-3028, this is just...
Well, let's see how you
the
handle
gnashing of teeth continues. And again, it could just be something as simple as a coding thing where it was too much trouble to make them available past a certain point, but not add them to the tables. For all I know, anything that's available is added to the rotation, and they would have had to do extra coding. Maybe they just decided it wasn't worth it. I can understand that. It's just the in-universe of, hey, we found this mech nobody's ever heard of. Oh, hey, look, it's a couple of weeks later, and those guys have got one too.
All weapons committed.
I know it's a game. It's a game based on a pre-existing game. So it's a game of a game. It's gameception. But there are just some things like that that really make me go, wait a minute. I wish I could try this game with some of the mods that have come out for it. The mod packages, like there was a 3062 Advanced and a few others. The downside being I would have to be playing the clan era, which I'm not a fan of. The upside being they've added like every mech and vehicle that's available in the universe to some of these mods. The variety of not facing the same thing over and 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 over again would be very worth it if only I trusted my computer to try to run them. We've already taken down the bull shark. We got a grasshopper, a highlander, and a banshee left here.
Yes, Commander. Moving to position.
And I will say this is, I think, the first time I've ever run this match where they have split up to go after the drones. This is a novelty. They usually just come right up that gap where the highlander and the grasshopper are facing. They usually just come around there and hang around those rocks taking shots until they get killed. This is the first time they've ever seemed to try to actually go for the drones.
Good to go.
And the drones have actually been useful because they have line of sight and close range to the enemy to be able to shoot them. That is a novelty in these. Kind of makes me wonder if they're not constantly tweaking the code of this and things change over time. Because as I have pointed out, there are missions you do where you're on a totally different map or with a totally different setup than what they used to be. Maybe they're still tweaking this game and things are still changing. I don't know. Not like I follow a blog of it or anything like that. Sorry, I got a tickle in my nose. I've been sneezing like crazy all day today. Trying to fight it down while I'm on mic here. You can cough quietly. Sneezing quietly is a little more difficult. Alright, so there are now 2 assault lances on the field versus me and a couple of vehicles.
All weapons committed.
This first part's a pretty standard versus mercenary mission, so I really don't have a lot to say about it other than, you know, little things like I've been doing as I point out. It's the second part of this that is the far more interesting portion of this end game of the campaign here. And I say that's just the end game for the Dobrev. The game still continues. There are still more flashpoints. Some of which I'm going to do, some of which I'm going to take just to show you what they are and where all that, and then probably not take them because I've done them before and don't enjoy them. So
Waiting for orders.
there are a couple of them you do that have like the weight and other limitations on them that if you run them, you take always, no matter what you do, take one hell of a beating and get almost nothing for it. So why you don't get anything going forward? They don't change anything universe-wise.
Solid connection on that
All
one.
they do is force you to potentially get your mech warriors killed, have repair bills, and that's it. You don't get shit for salvage. They don't pay shit. And they don't give you anything good for a reward at the end. It's why were they added? Unless they thought people would be that desperate for something to do that by that point of the game, I don't know.
Standing by. All weapons are go.
Oh my god. There's his leg.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
Sorry, I had to push the mic back for just a second to lean forward and grab something. I'm also trying to keep from doing too much aimless rambling at the beginning of this here because this video is over an hour long, so I'm trying to space it out a bit unless there's something that
Move order received.
in the moment I feel I should comment on.
Fire, downrange.
That thing does come in handy when you've got multiple targets like that close in. You notice too, if you look at the loadouts as this goes, I have changed. This is after, as I mentioned in the previous one, I'd run into something and had to change the loadout on my bull shark
All weapons committed.
because I lost my LBX-10 autocannons. So until I can find more of them available in the store someplace, I can't get it back to its standard loadout. I paid for that shutdown. I thought it was worth the risk to try and take out that grasshopper. Didn't take out the grasshopper. Not worth the risk. And yes, there is a version of the rifleman that carries a pair of PPCs. Oh, another archer. Wonderful.
Warning. Detecting mech warrior injury.
Orders. Up high. Acknowledged.
Of course, you notice how much that one Alpha Strike from the rifleman did for his own heat. Almost all of the variants of the rifleman are very, very heat intensive, and most of them have absolutely horrendous armor for their weight, but they are, in the lore of the game, they're not meant to be a direct stand-up face-to-face combat mech like they're used most of the time in this game.
Warning.
They're meant to be
Armor
an
breach.
anti-aerospace
Internal
mech,
damage.
an anti-VTOL, and things like that, which is not in this game. So
Roger.
you literally cannot use this mech for its intended purpose in this game. Rifleman and Jaeger mech both are intended to be anti-aircraft mechs, not anti-battle mechs. They're flak panzers, not Panzer Jaegers.
Receiving you. Here it comes.
There it goes. Nothing him in the legs.
One less target.
Yeah, definitely. I will say those drones are very useful in that even just firing over obstructions with their LRMs, even if they don't hit, every round that they do that takes away an evasive on the target. So they're quite handy for making it easier for my mechs to be able to hit them. Yep. My Atlas got raffle stomped. Thankfully, that's my hero, quote-unquote, character that can't die.
Receiving you.
I paid for that shutdown. He never even powered back up again.
I copy.
Oh, he's
Multiple
gonna be in
targets
trouble with all
confirmed.
that. Structure damage, yay. If you think this match is drawn out and having to be very careful, wait till you see the next one.
Acknowledge.
Oh my. The second half of this one is quite unlike any other Flashpoints or even campaign missions I've run in this, so it's gonna be a show.
Roger.
Hot damn. Let's do this.
Orders. Take it to him.
The Archer is destroyed. I did some hurting on that Battlemaster's back meats. Delicious
power-up
back
detected.
meats. So needless to say, I will not be able to use my Atlas in the next one unless I do some serious repairs beforehand. Let's see what else is getting a hurt real bad before the end here, if anything else does.
Copy that.
Battlemaster that lost a heat sink. That won't end well for him. Oh, another Highlander. Yay.
Reporting heavy damage. Waiting for orders.
Same thing we did last time. For all intents and purposes.
Roger that.
You're
Critical hit,
lagged.
Commander.
Yay. Come on, die already. already. We got to get to the good part here.
Aye, aye.
And despite the fact that, just to keep from talking over it and rushing through it,
Move into position.
the second part of this, despite the fact that the way they talk and the way they play it up, it's an immediate, you need to do this right now, it's not treated as a consecutive mission. So for a change, I decided to game the game a little bit, and I gave my wounded commander a chance to heal in the hospital before we went on with the second part, because I wasn't going to sit this one out. Besides which, you'll see what we're up against. I needed all my heavy hitters on the field for that one, so I needed all 4 of my maxed out pilots for that.
Good to go.
Just a little advice from somebody who has tried it. Don't try and do the second part of this with a shitty Lance of Mech Warriors. You're in for a very bad time if you do, and you'll see why when we get it going.
Ready for orders.
Behemoth, please finish this guy off so we can get done with this.
Moving out. Solid connection on that one.
Damn it. Oh, thank you. There we go. So didn't lose any of the drones. Lost my commander to my own over-aggressiveness. It happens sometimes. A series of missed jumps, huh?
Mission successful.
Press X to doubt. So yeah, they sit on the sidelines a lot more than they should realistically, but I need that frickin' pilot available, so hey, I get a grasshopper out of it. Couple A10s, AC10s I should say. Boy, A10s would be nice. Good medium laser. Ooh, some good TTSs too. Those are targeting computers. Sweet, that's some good salvage. How far we gotta go here? Oh, we're not even halfway through this. This is gonna be a bit yet. Second part of this is rather intensive, but once again, I thought I had cut this shorter than I did. My editing is getting better as I go, but I still goof up a little bit once in a while. Every one of these I make, though, I'm learning, getting better. Here we go, part 2. Reminiscent of the technology that was used to build me, but there are discrepancies I'm unable to explain because it's from the clans. A flooded wreck of a doomed ship at the bottom of a massive body of water. There is a reason I keep saying this. I don't give a shit about finding the Star League. I'm not standing down in the face of a fight. I've never taken the opportunity to see what happens when you take him. It says it ends the arc, but I've never taken the opportunity to do it and see if it has any other effects going forward, because I know, at least as far as I'll show at the end of this, what happens when you take this part of the arc that I'm doing. I'm kind of curious to see, but I can never bring myself to do it when I get to this point. I always go with the fight option. That's just me. Unfortunately, the wrong Black Widow named Natasha shows up. I'd much rather have Natasha Romanoff. I can't stand Natasha Kerensky, as I've said. I mean, I gotta say, she is in character here. This isn't against her character. I just find the concept of her being out here hunting this thing down on the periphery, having somehow heard about it and everything else, I don't get that part of it. I'm not saying it's not possible, and there are some very contrived things in the BattleTech fiction of the novels and stuff, so it's not beyond the realm of what you would see in one of the novels. I just, me being me, questions the why of it. So after recovering and healing, I'm ready to go again. However, I'm not taking my assault mechs this time. I'm taking my main lance. Because we're facing down the Black Widow and the Bounty Hunter in our normal command lance. Booyah. I don't care about the secrets of the Star League. I care about what it's going to do for my reputation if I'm the one that can say that I took down both the Black Widow and the Bounty Hunter. You know what that'll do for our rates? So there's the Black Widow Company, or at least a lance of the Black Widow Company. And look at that! It is not at the bottom of a deep body of water being looked at by a UAV underwater or underwater operated vehicle as it was said at the beginning. It's right there in the open, in the desert. Why the hell did they make a point to keep saying how flooded and at the bottom of a body of water and inaccessible this thing is? It is right there. Ah!
Enemy detected.
This is one of the ones that makes me wonder if the writing team of this and the team that actually was writing the missions, the coding for it, were even communicating with each other. Because this is another case of the setup for the mission is completely contradicted by what you're doing in the mission. They love to do that. Colin McRae. Or McLaren, I'm sorry. Colin McLaren. Oh, Connor McRae. That's another character, I think. I don't think that's BattleTech, though. That popped into my head, but it was the wrong character. All of the named warriors you see in this, if I remember right, both Kerensky and the bounty hunters, if I remember right, all of these named warriors are actually from either the fiction or the source books for the units. So they did a good job with that. It's just, as I say, another case of it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this, and then you get into the mission and, oh, that's not at all what we described. Great.
On my way. Engaging target.
Receiving you.
This lance is her warhammer, an archer and a marauder, very much like my lance, but also an annihilator, which I have not used in this game. A few of them have popped up here and there. That thing is a beast, as you just see what it did in one burst to the Thunderbolt. However, as they're looking at me, Bounty Hunter just dropped in right behind them. He's got, what is, I believe, a rifleman, a marauder, I want to say either an archer or a dragon. I can't remember what the other one is, and an atlas. So, needless to say, these two certified badasses on the field who can't stand each other and have sworn they're going to kill each other, you better believe we're going to take advantage of that animosity going forward here, and I'm a mercenary. All that matters in the end of this is who is the last one standing. This is almost like 18th century rules. Doesn't matter if you've only got one mech left at the end. If everybody else is dead or disabled, you can say you beat them. So any of them that continue to come after us, game on. But if they're going to engage each other, let them kill each other. That's less of my have to worry about. And right there you see part of why you don't just march in and engage these guys. These being named characters from an absolutely legendary unit from, led by one of the biggest badasses in universe. These guys have some special abilities and some special stuff on their mechs that makes them extremely dangerous in a straight up fight. You can't just say, oh, well, this is all they've got. I'll bring assault mechs and I'll just go in and kill them all. It don't work like that. Trust me. I did one of these one time where I had to run it. I think I tried doing it like that just to see if I could win it like that. And I think it took me 4 attempts, and I ended up with one mech with like almost all of its weapons shot away and one leg gone was my last mech standing. So you can beat them in a straight up fight, but my god, the cost of doing it against these badasses you're facing is just not worth it.
Take that.
This Marauder, however, seems bound and determined that he's going to engage us, so I'm doing my best to take him out. You'll see going forward, if you catch on to what I'm doing tactics-wise, any of them that get to where they have line of sight on me from either lance, I'm trying to take out so that the rest of their lance that is further away in fighting doesn't have line of sight on me to turn around and fire long range. I'm trying to keep it to where I can engage them 1 or 2 at a time. Even if they decide to come at me, which they don't, but, realistically it is they could decide to kill you and then settle their differences kind of thing. They don't do that, but they could. With this setup, again, I'm trying to get it to where my lance can focus fire on 1 or 2 of them at a time as they advance. Because especially those assault mechs, either the Annihilator or the Atlas, neither one of them is a fast mover. They're hard hitters, and they can take a couple of good punches, especially the Atlas. Not so much the Annihilator. But if you can keep them at a distance. They're limited to just their long-range weaponry, which in the Annihilator is pretty much everything it has. But in the Atlas, you keep it at a distance to where all it can really use is what long-range weaponry it has. And it's a custom configuration on the Atlas, if I remember right. So it's not all long-range stuff. Right, it sounds like I'm babbling a little bit, but you'll see what I mean as I go forward here. I'm trying to play smart here. I'm still attacking them, I'm still doing damage, I'm still going for the kills, but I'm trying to be cagey and realistic in how I'm doing it. And it takes a while, because this is a fight, but...
Engaging target.
And he just doesn't want to die. I keep hitting the head and he won't even die. I've been tempted to get in and edit the source files and start a campaign with either the Bounty Hunter's Lance or the Black Widow Lance, which I would not have the skills the pilots have, but I'm curious to see just how effective those loadouts are to use, you know, as a campaign. You know, how much more effective are they than I really screwed up with the fricking Thunderbolt here.
Got a lock.
You notice I jumped him, I had him facing the wrong way when he landed, so he's standing with his back to them right now. I am in trouble. I really goofed. That,
They've blown past my armor.
yeah, they also have weapons that will bypass the armor and go straight, or at least skills,
Waiting
I
for
should
orders.
say, that will bypass the armor and go straight for the internal structure. So
I copy.
these guys are nothing to sniff at. They're very, very, very dangerous. This isn't one of those ones where they play up the opposition and you drop in and take it out in 2 or 3 turns. This one is a brawl. I don't know why it's showing his torso rotating so far. The Thunderbolt's torso can't rotate like that.
Standing by.
There's the Rifleman Ripper.
Target lock on enemy.
If the Archer in the back meets, feast on his back meats.
Think I hit something good.
Yeah, you messed him up pretty good.
On it.
So that's the Archer and the Marauder, both pretty badly damaged here. But I don't know what kind of damage the Bounty Hunter's Lance is taking here. I know the warrior piloting that rifleman's name is Reaper, so that RIP is probably supposed to be literally RIP, rest in peace, but
Damage minimal.
being a rifleman, that RIP stands for Ripper, because that's what that thing is it just rips off bursts that tear shit apart. Basically, he's got that outfitted the way I normally do, a pair of Ultra Auto Cannon 5s on it instead of the normal.
Targeting rear armor.
Oh, come on!
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Yeah, they've got high-level weaponry, advanced gyros, stuff added into the cockpit like rangefinders and stuff. These guys are brutal. This is what it's like facing a top-tier Merc unit as opposed to just the general run-of-the-mill stuff you normally face.
What do you
Good, I
need?
didn't pay for him being backwards too bad.
Affirmative.
Once the numbers get whittled down a bit, I advance and engage a bit closer, but for now, I am not putting myself in the middle of that nest of vipers. Just in case you're wondering, if you don't know the lore, the background, why these two hate each other, earlier on in her career, before she had the Black Widow company and had the Warhammer that she always pilots in this game and in the lore, she was a Marauder pilot. That
Locking on target.
Marauder, he stole it from her and made it his main mech.
Reporting.
So
Critical
in
hit.
addition to having betrayed her at least a couple of times in the lore that I'm aware of, on top of that, he also stole her signature mech from her and made it his, which I don't care, even if you're not borderline batshit crazy nut job like Natasha Kerensky is. That's gonna make you really hate the bastard. So yeah, they've got some definite animosity between the two of them. At least this one, unlike the earlier one where you faced the Black Widow company, since this is her command lance, they actually do have them in the proper black and red paint job. I really like some of the recent artwork that has come out, both official and unofficial, of her Warhammer. Because I love the Warhammer, and as much as I'm not a fan of hers, that black with red trim on a Warhammer just looks so good. There have been some great
Warning.
artworks.
Armor low.
I've got one that I'm waiting
Reporting.
to,
Heavy damage.
with a bunch of other ones that I got from Eldon Couger, that his packs on a Stray 3 that he has for the artwork he's done.
Warning. Armor
That
low.
I picked up. I got the Marauder one, the Warhammer one, and I think one more
Yeah.
I got from him. That I'm just waiting for the chance to get them put in frames and find some place to put them. Man, they're good artwork. So cool looking.
Copy that. That hit something good.
I'm always happy when I see a shot miss, especially when it's just one shot like that. Yeah, it must be another archer. Oh my god, will you die?
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
I mean, all he's got left is his torso-mounted medium lasers, but still, just die already.
Damage minimal.
Yeah. There's my Marauder buddy back.
Warning. Armor low.
Ready for orders. taking the shot.
Okay,
Tango down.
that's one Black Widow mech down.
Orders? Engaging.
And one bounty hunter mech down.
Hostile eliminated. Aye, aye.
Oh, no, don't do that. Never mind. Oof. Man. That Annihilator is dangerous. That's probably from the Atlas.
Warning. Armor
Yep.
breached. Internal damage.
We gotta start taking out these guys that got line of sight on me here.
Copy that.
Oh, the bounty hunter is down. And that freaking Archer still won't die. Shit.
Warning. Weapon system destroyed.
Yeah, her weapons hit hard. They wrench your actuators and stuff and slow you down. I don't know what ability it is that uses that. They
Receiving.
gave them some odd stuff, but
Affirmative.
the Black Widow is down.
That's killed.
Yes. We're down to one lance left, two from each side, and one of them is crippled for all intents and purposes.
Battle mech operational.
Gotta get him out of the line of fire.
Full
He's not
throttle.
too bad. One large and one medium laser ain't gonna contribute much to this
Holding
mess
for
with
tactical
the
advantage.
damage he's already taken. He'll be dead before he can ever use them.
I'm under heavy fire.
Yeah, the Annihilator targeting you will do that. Yes, continue shooting each other. Thank you.
Waiting for orders. Affirmative. Orders. Here we go.
Held back for another turn, waiting to see what happens going
Good to
forward
go.
with them.
Acknowledged.
and then we get back into the fight. If I remember right. Might be another turn. Trying to see if I can get a target lock at anybody, but they're too far away. That's just one of the Black Widow mechs left, which would be the Annihilator.
Stabilizing and bracing. Confirmed. I copy.
Stabilizing and bracing.
Yeah, I did go one more turn. But now they're too far away, so I gotta start moving up.
Full throttle.
So there should be, if I remember right, the Atlas, the Annihilator, and the other Archer left. Oh, come on. I did stay for another turn. I don't remember that I sat this long, but okay.
Waiting for orders. Lifting off.
Now we start moving them up.
I've got a sensor lock. Good to go. Target confirmed. Roger that.
Standing by.
Alright, just the two assault mechs left now.
Commander. Heading out. Sensors locked on.
Now we'll see what kind of state the Atlas is in and see if we can do anything to him. Oh, he's too far away.
Yes, Commander. Got it.
Orders. Copy that.
moving up.
Standing by. On it. Confirm.
Missed? Are you kidding me? You stationary with no evasive and I missed?
What's up, boss?
Oh, well, at least he lost some weapons.
Critical hit,
I think
Commander.
that should be his LRM and a PPC gun.
Commander.
Yep. Oh,
Got it.
Infernos and an ER medium laser in his LRM. Okay. What, has he got ammo?
Receiving you. Giving him everything I've got.
Ultra autocannon 20 crit,
Inflicting
ammo
some heavy
destroyed.
damage.
Engaging target.
Oh, now you hit his leg.
Standing by. I copy.
Sink destroyed, ammo explosion, most of his other
Critical
weapons
hit.
gone. He's screwed.
Yes, Commander.
Oh yeah.
I copy.
All he's got left is a PPC. A snub PPC at that.
Not much armor left in that location.
That's alright, we're almost done with this.
Yes, Commander. Up high.
Do it.
Roger.
Back meats, baby, back meats. All I did was destroy his freaking gyro. Well, and his BSC system. I think he's out of ammunition anyway, so that doesn't matter.
Engaging target.
Orders? Confirmed.
4 LB-10X autocannons on that thing. Good lord.
That hit something good.
Yeah, it did, but he's... Unless you finished off the last of his ammo,
Waiting
he's
for orders.
still in the fight here.
Engaging target.
Oh, come on. I should have legged him. Wow. You gotta be shit me. 2 missions in a row he got knocked out. Oh. So they're just the Atlas left, and this shouldn't
Hot
take
damn.
long,
Let's
so...
do this.
Firing jump jet. Firing on enemy.
Come
Critical hit,
on.
Commander.
Die already.
Orders.
Die, you giant bastard. Die.
Roger that.
Finally! So there is the Black Widow Command Lance and the Bounty Hunter Command Lance taken out by my Command Lance. Well, and each other, let's be honest. I did kill quite a few of them, though.
Mission successful.
No payout. But look at where my review board is right now, rated 757, 4 stars. That'll be a little different at the end of this. And you get none of their mechs. Damn, I missed how many of them I actually killed in the end thing there. Oh well. I just took all the decent weapons. And we get everything anyway, so. Come on already. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. We've only got a couple minutes left to this, so even with the little delay there, it's not too much longer. Did I forget to edit this black out? I might have. I might have missed a part of it. There's a lot of files to go through. Come on. I'd skip ahead, but oh well. I thought I edited this part out. Sorry about that. That's mea culpa. Anyway, to fill the gap here, just as an update, I picked up the starter box for, um, yeah, Alpha Strike, the somewhat trimmed down version of the tabletop BattleTech. I'm gonna take a look at that when it comes in. Check everything out on it. I'm used to the regular. The Alpha Strike is kind of confusing to me trying to look at it. So mainly picked it up so I can get the books to be able to go through and everything else for it, the rules. Plus it comes with a whole bunch of miniatures and terrain and maps and all kinds of other stuff. So I'm going to be having to get rid of a few of the miniatures that come with it because it comes with a star of clan mechs and not interested. Don't play clans. So let's see if I can trade those for something I can use. It'd be a little easier if my local game store around here had anything to do with BattleTech, but they don't even know what it is. So I stopped in to see if what they had, and the guy says, "Oh well, if you are interested in a game other than what we have, let me know. I'll see if I can pick anything up for it." And I said, "You ever get any of the BattleTech stuff in here?" And he looked at me with a completely blank expression, like, What's BattleTech?" It's a Warhammer focused store, so what do you expect? Made enemies for life too, just as he says, because neither one of those likes to forget. So I'm wondering, I haven't seen yet, but I'm wondering if anything ever comes up with either of them having, continuing grudge with you, or for that matter, if all of this has anything to do with the story going forward. I have never seen anything else coming off of this. You never get any updates. You never get any more information. I don't know if I just haven't gone far enough because eventually I get bored and start a new campaign. But not Not that I've ever seen. I'm going to keep this one going for a while just to see if anything happens. I mean, obviously, if not, I won't be uploading it. But if there's any updates, I will post them afterwards. Because I'm curious. It never has come up. But hey, you get 250,000 C-bills and a drunken party out of it to celebrate afterwards. So, let's go get drunk. Let's go get drunk with a Draconis Combine representative here. Why not? I bet Saki is involved. But either way, so that is finally the end of it, and afterwards here I will show you there'll be a little video thing here. Take a look at my reputation and standing with the various houses now. Um, yeah, you don't get a lot out of this other than holy shit, the review board rating and everything else now. Of course, it glitched, but yeah, I have a full rating, and even with the ones that I am enemy with because of my alliance with the Magistracy of Canopus, my rating went up significantly. So there you go. That's what you get out of it. That's what finally happens at the end of it. Uh, Odd little ending, quote unquote, because I don't know for sure if it's the end of it or not. Not that I've ever seen. Is there more? But anyway, thank you for watching this. This is the end of the Dobrev arc, but there are still flashpoints to go, so I will be making more of these going forward. But as always, give me, please, a like and subscribe. It helps me greatly. Even just a thumbs up on the video, it all helps. It'll show up on more people's searches that way. You know how the face or YouTube algorithm is. So have a good one, and we will see you all on the next one. Later.